Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Raven's Roost. I'm your host, Dave, along here with Clint, James, and my brother Matt. We hope you enjoy the show.
Emmanuel Swedenborg.
That
He is one of the figures of Enlightenment. Swedenborg was a theologian. Probably saying that wrong. He held a deep faith in Christian teaching.
Theologian?
Yeah, theologian.
Yeah, you're right, man. Theologian.
From 1743 to 1744, he began to experience visions and dreams in the night. He recorded his personal experiences in a diary because obviously there wasn't much you could do. He also wrote a book called Secrets of Heaven. He said that Bible shouldn't be taken seriously. Also, was attending a dinner, and while he was there, he began to vividly describe a roaring fire that was happening at his house that was 250 miles away, and he was distressed. Eventually, he relayed the news that the fire was under control and that his home had survived the ordeal. It took 2 days for men to actually arrive to Stockholm to verify that Swedenborg's vision was legit, and he even envisioned his death March 29th, 1772. Predicted it to the day and everything. The first paranormal society was Edmund Dawson Rogers in England. They read the writings of Swedenborg. They studied all his writings to see, like if it was legit. And they pursued the quest of knowledge of the unseen.
he found the merit in the writings of Swedenborg when Sir Isaac Pitman he brought it to him in about 1800s. He spent a great deal of time studying the writings and the philosopher of the work, and he deserved to be carried on by it was called the Age of Reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep. It's interesting.
Dowsing rods were used for like everything.
Right.
Insane amount of stuff. They used it to try to find criminals, water, certain metals. It was declared superstitious in 1662 because they weren't sure if it was the devil was the one that was responsible for the movement of the rods. And then again, it was used for tracking criminals. They have eventually forbid it as employment purposes of justice.
How the hell would they find criminals? A demon or something in them, or
maybe it's more or less like would direct you, like how you use it for dowsing or anything else. Like it pulls you in the direction you're supposed to go to find the thing. Mm-hmm. So instead, I don't know how you tune the frequency of the lumber to locate a human being. Somehow it would allow you to do that, and I guess that would bob or pull you in the direction that you need to go find the bad guy.
Yeah, because it was like a triangle.
Right.
Basically, it was like almost like bike handles, a long stick, and it kind of allegedly pulled you into the whatever you were looking for, be it water or metal, crystals.
What if they've ever caught a criminal with it though?
It doesn't say.
Legit.
Yeah, it'd be interesting if they did, but I wouldn't feel that would be a feasible.
It's probably
thing.
like luck the first time.
Yeah.
Wow, it worked. Let's keep using it.
Pretty much. Because I've always heard it for water.
Yeah.
I did not ever hear originally that it was for metals. I found that out.
Because the magnetic. Is it a magnetic pull?
It would make sense, but the only thing is, it's a non-ferrous thing. It's just wood. Only ferrous items get affected by, or metal objects get affected by magnets.
Isn't dowsing rods metal rods?
Well, not the ones that he's referring to.
Oh, okay.
That's the first one was just like a Y branch, like you see like in the old Wild West shows and whatnot.
Oh, okay.
So it's just this Y branch, and you do your thing. But yes, then dowsing rods, you're right, did become metal.
Yeah.
Ferrous, yes, metal at one point.
They used them during the Vietnam War. They tried to use them to locate weapons in tunnels, which I find weird. A study towards the end of the 19th century concluded that the phenomenon was an unconscious observations of the terrain, and that's what influenced the movement of the rod. Like they didn't realize they were doing it.
See, it's probably like using it in the war, going back to that, almost like a radar kind of. I don't know. I don't see how.
No, it seems a little too out of context again for that type of thing, because I don't know, it's kind of like I don't know, spirituality on the battlefield. It just doesn't seem like that.
Well, they're looking for they're looking for weapons and stuff.
Yeah.
It probably made sense to them back then, but thinking now, it's like, how the hell is this thing even?
Yeah.
Like, there's so many things.
Like, it's a multi-purpose tool. It's like, I can make it unplug my sink and things like that.
Yeah, it's like a Swiss Army knife. Yeah. Like,
yeah.
Oh, we're gonna look for weapons, but it pulled me towards water. Damn it! Like,
yeah.
Well, there's two types of rods. There's the Y rod, which is the one basically pulling you to the location, and there's the L rods, which is like left or right.
Yeah. Didn't they use like spin it in for like a yes or or no.
Or no, sometimes it's even open. You just like you go
Open
into a place
is
and be
yes.
like show me what is yes,
It'll
and you
open
wait for it to open or
yeah.
close, and then you, pardon me, you would know. Because until then, you're right. Yeah, you had no clue.
It says like when the L rods crossed, that's when they knew that they found something. They're also, besides being metal rods, they make them in glass and plastic as well. They use straight rods too.
Actually, for one investigation, probably about, I want to say 6 years ago, I think it was. I had actually had a couple pieces of plastic, like plastic tubing,
Yeah.
and took a couple coat hangers and just made some dowsing rods. Worked pretty good.
Nice. We have like 2 sets. I think you gave us a set,
Uh-huh.
and then somebody else gave us a set. I can't use them for the life of me.
So if they're the ones, if that's that ones, maybe that's the ones I must have made then, because I don't think I purchased any.
Yeah, they have a plastic pot at the bottom where you hold so the rod
Yeah.
can still move.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that's where it went. All right, cool.
Yeah, you gave it to us. I tried those. I just can't. I can't use them. And I think Anna's sister gave us a pair. I just hold on to them too damn tight.
And they won't spin at all.
Yeah. So I'm like, I don't like them. I don't even understand how people back then were like, okay, yeah, this is fine. It's gonna take us to water. Like, I can't. I just.
You gotta loosely hold them, like.
Yeah, but then I feel like I'm moving them when they move. I feel like I'm the one doing it.
I mean, you'd know if they just went like this, like strong. But yeah, like if you're holding them, they're just moving randomly. It's probably nothing.
Yeah, I've seen
open or close like fast or something. That's probably something.
I've seen people's video they sent in to us because they were on our way to an investigation. So they asked questions like, "Are we in danger?" and stuff. And they send us their videos with their rods, and I'm like, they hold it still the whole time and everything. I'm so shaky with it. I hate it. It's just not for me. It's probably the one thing that I refuse to use because I physically can't. But if I'm with somebody and they're using it and they're getting responses, who am I to judge? And the first recording was done in 1901. It was by Waldemar Logorath. He was using a phonograph to record languages and songs and beliefs of various indigenous tribes in Siberia. And he ended up catching English and Russian voices.
Mm.
And Minnesota State University still has the recordings and they're still studying them. There's actually a couple of them that were by mistake. Thomas Edison, he was hoping the equipment that would work to help him communicate with the dead. In 1959, Frederick Jurgensen, he's a Swedish artist and film producer, discovered paranormal voices on a recording he had done in the woods to attempt recording bird calls. He ended up continuing his experiment for 4 years before he even announced anything at a press conference. He ended up writing a book, Voices from the Universe. And Sarah Estep, she's a pioneer, I guess, in the field of EVPs. She founded the American Association of Electronic Voice Phenomenon, designed the classification system that we all still use today.
Harry Price.
Harry
Yes.
Price.
His kit that he constructed in 1920.
Ooh.
He was the first to use modern equipment for ghost hunting investigations. And I guess like in 1938, 1939, he drafted a bill for the regulation of psychic practitioners. So he kind of set the rules and tempo for future ghost hunters to kind of adhere to. But it's funny because like this kit that he actually had was pretty much almost like what you'd expect to be the equivalent of what you'd have today in certain ways. Because like he would have like 2 types of media to record with and all that, video camera and film cameras.
Mm.
But something not as widely known in a kit probably so much nowadays, but it actually had holy water in it, and a standard flashlight, which of course is still used today, to detect tremors and vibrations, as people say sometimes they would feel their house shake or things like that. You would actually use a bowl of mercury and kind of watch it splash around in there. Standard like sketch pad, or even to make sure there's no tampering of people's equipment or anything. You would actually have either a roll of tape or string, like a seal cord, and would block off doorways and things like that. So if something happened in that room, if the tape and everything was still there, not broken, then clearly no one entered the room.
Mm-hmm.
I fingerprint brush, and it is more elaborate, another sketch pad with implements to do an entire draft of the entire inside of the house. So instead of just having like, just a look around, he would physically take the time to draw out the entire place. And one of the things, the piece of equipment I thought was actually interesting, because of course we all know what it boils down to today, but a portable telephone. So he'd communicate with someone in just one of the other rooms. So it's like, clearly the predecessor to the walkie-talkie, but I thought that was rather interesting that, back then, it's 1920s.
Still bringing our damn cell phones around.
Exactly. But no, in all fairness, though, that, it's like really when you think about it, almost everything in that kit is pretty much what you use now, just the modern equivalent of it.
Yeah.
It's like, so it's not really that far off, and definitely, yeah, has set the standards for the basic ghost hunters equipment.
Would have thought though,
Yeah.
Like how it evolved from basically seances and then dowsing rods to now you can basically set up security cameras, go on your investigation, have it set up so like if something goes by a screen, it lets your phone know. You can go back and watch it on your phone, all being like in a completely different room.
Yeah. A trail cam that you can just leave, like a trail cam you can leave out for like weeks.
Yeah,
So
battery.
like, you could go to an abandoned building, leave a trail cam that no one's gonna mess with, put it in the area, and just leave it for a few weeks and see if you get anything. So I mean, yeah, when you go on an investigation, you have your standard cameras that you set up with the DVR, but that's all happening right there. This is on your phone. You could be at work or whatever on the toilet.
Yeah, there's not really so much of an app for that kind of stuff yet, or at least
Well,
at least hasn't been applied in that nature.
Yeah, I haven't. I mean, that was the first time I heard of. He's like, oh, look at this trail cam, and then he shows me a Bobcat. He's like, yeah, I was like, oh, that's cool. You can have it just sent straight to your phone from the trail cam. That's cool.
Yeah, they that's like a thing that Comcast offers. John had it. Like when you walk into his driveway, it would let his phone let his phone know, like, hey, somebody's
security. Yeah, he mentioned that last time. He's like, yeah, somebody was in my driveway or something, or in his backyard the other day.
Yeah.
It's almost like Ring, like the doorbell there.
Yeah.
Your front door, just right to your phone. But now we apply that to ghost hunting. It could be more of a, you almost don't even have to be there anymore.
Where's the fun in that?
I know, but you could cover more things. You could do.
Yeah.
But I can see people doing that, like, the ones who they want to get into ghost hunting, but they don't really want to do it, or the big shots, like, I don't even have to be there anymore. I just set it up.
Or what you could do too, even if like say you're doing something for a private residence, if they're okay with it, you could say, hey, look, we're gonna put these cameras in a week before we come down, and if things are really active, we'd like to leave them here for a week after, and then that way there you could get constant feed. As long as they're okay, basically being videotaped, depending on where the hot spots are, like you must say, okay, we're gonna put them in the basement, so just be warned when you go downstairs, there's a camera going, so don't do anything, whatever.
Yeah, I feel like something like that. I mean, you could do it with any of the cameras that send it to your phone.
Yeah,
I think that is more like that feature, sending it to your phone or tablet or whatever, is a good feature. If you're not gonna be there, but if like, oh, we should head there now, because if you're just recording it anyway, you can just pick up the footage later if that's what you want. But it could be useful on an investigation, like, hey, we're in this room, I just got it on my phone, we should head to that room now because something walked by or whatever.
Yeah, that's what they also have, like the little command center where they have the guy watching the screen and he's like on his walkie-talkie, hey, something just walked by camera 1.
Yeah.
And they all go to that room, and if there's something,
But now you don't need anybody there.
I'd still have somebody sitting there watching the screens, because if it goes off in your phone, there's the delay, and then if you're in a spot where there's no service, it kind of defeats the purpose. And then when you go back to wherever you get service, your phone blows up, and it's like a dog or a cat that was outside walking around in circles.
That's actually true. Yeah, if you drop service, then it would kind of.
You're just not with the times. You're just
not. There's no such thing as dead zone still.
Soon it'll just.
Well, what if you bounce it off a Wi-Fi system? Though, come to think of it, could you do that?
Yeah, that's if somebody's going to give you their password.
Well, no, I mean, like if you have, say, you're converting it to a hard drive and then broadcasting it out to tablets or phones or something like that instead. I mean, there'd be a bit of a lag, but I don't know if that'd be counterproductive or not.
It probably would work, but I mean, if you're in the basement, like in a far corner in the basement, it's all surrounded by cement.
Yeah.
How strong is that signal going to be?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but I do know, like I said, I do know that they have, they have, like you can have, there's a chip that you can actually have your photo put on a camera, like a regular one. So I'm assuming it could be modified for the sake of argument, and transfer it wirelessly to your computer back home.
Mm.
I'm not sure how that works. And it was at least supposed to work. I've seen a couple commercials for it. It seemed like an interesting idea for a product, and if that works, then you could very easily implement it, in a similar endeavor.
I mean, if we had to go to like somebody's house and like it was big and we needed Wi-Fi, because it would help, like the cameras and everything streaming wise to our phones or whatever. They do sell these things that you can plug into walls, into like the electrical outlets to help move the Wi-Fi along. So if we bought a couple, we could add, hey, can we use your Wi-Fi? We have these. We'll place upstairs, downstairs, one on every floor, even in the basement, so we can get some signal down here. I don't know how strong it can be.
Yeah.
But that's always an option too.
It's like I can see, yeah, you don't need like sending it to your phone. That for me would only be used if you're not even there, because you could set it. I think the best scenario is it's to, I guess, get the traffic without ever having to go and check the actual thing, take out the SD card and go home and check it.
Yeah.
You could just be sitting there and be like, oh, I'm getting traffic there. I'm getting more traffic. Okay. Like with hunting, yeah, you see more deer in that area. You're like, okay. Now I'm not wasting my time going out there because I know I'm gonna probably get something if there's traffic. With ghost hunting, or I'm getting a lot of like movement shadows and stuff.
True.
Okay, now we know we should probably start heading there. And
yeah, and like I said, that would work out good, because you'd still want, I think, overall, you'd still be doing the investigation because you still want audio.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to try to sit and record audio 24/7, because then you're gonna get so much noise contamination from the house itself. And
you can set. I think that's what I was with the apps on the phone. Like when you're asleep, it's to see if you talk in your sleep or something. It's when it hears a certain like loud noise. That's when it starts recording. You can do that with tape recorder too. Have that out, just going all night, and it only record once it hears a certain like frequency or high pitch or sound.
Yeah, because the only problem is like you have to make sure like if they were actually home for that they know about it, so like to be like insanely quiet, because otherwise you get people like walking to the fridge.
Well, yeah, even if they're not home or you're at a place that no one even lives.
Yeah, if it's an abandoned place.
Yeah, I think that stuff works best at an abandoned place, because I mean, yeah, a homeless person or animals can get in, but you're not expecting any of that. So
I mean, if you set up something like that in somebody's home, you just tell them, hey, go about your day like the camera's not even there.
yeah.
Obviously, don't walk around nude or common sense stuff. Like it's there, but don't like look at it and pay attention. Just go about your day. Because I'm assuming people would be like, one, you're not going to put one in their bedrooms.
No, unless
definitely can't put one in their bathroom.
I mean, unless you could put it in the bedroom at a certain angle. Be like, oh, where's the activity? Well, maybe we can arrange it this way so it doesn't catch anything that you're doing.
Yeah, well, we can't have sound.
Well, yeah.
And then
I mean, people, if you're doing it for one night, I'm sure people won't accommodate you and be like, yeah,
Yeah, one night. But if it's something big and you're like, all right, here's a week.
Yeah.
And then it's gonna be like, all right, yeah, how about this? We'll give you a camera you physically set up before you go to bed, and then when you wake up in the morning, you can still keep it going. And if you decide you want to do something, you can take it down, shut it off, and then put it back up whenever.
Some people may not even care. Like, oh yeah, I don't care. Like, walk around naked or something. Like, and you catch me and can't, like, whatever. Like, I mean, it's an experiment we're trying for, like, some people might whatever. But
before that would be even an option. Like, if we could offer that as an option, we'd have to test it ourselves, like at one of our own places, before we're like, just so we have a better understanding of everything. Not like, all right, yeah, we're gonna we have this idea, so we'll go set it up at somebody's house, and it's a fucking shit show.
Right. You definitely would want to beta test the product before, setting it out there.
Yeah. I see like all these new point of view cameras. They're like, I guess, a hell of a lot cheaper than GoPros. And I always had the idea like you can get dashboard cameras now, like $20. Why can't we just make those? And then night vision, we can just make those into point of view cameras. They run on battery. They have little mini SD card slots, so you can get at least a 32 gig. Put it on your hat or whatever.
Actually, you can get 128 gig for $20 on those SD cards.
That.
So that's like you can get a 500 gig, 400 gig for $100.
But just so you know, two of those, you'd have to change either. If it comes with LEDs, you'd have to change them to UV LEDs, or we need to get a light kit to attach to them to emit the light, because I don't think they'll naturally take in any light without some kind of light source.
Well, like I said, that's why we test everything. And I do have that that IR light from.
Yeah, that would work. That would work. Something like that, mount the two together. And as long as it can read that light, because that'd be, I think, the only modification you have to worry about, if at all. If it can see that light, then in the dark, it should make it pop and should work just fine.
Yeah, trial and error.
That's cool. But that would, it'd be interesting. Like, to kind of like check out some other camera ideas, like we were talking about the Kinect's camera as well.
Yeah,
oh
yeah, what was the name of that? ISI something.
Yeah, because it's like.
That was just to connect.
Yeah, but they call it something.
Yeah, when they put it all together, it's not just that. Like, because I think if you just put it in, you're gonna get just the Xbox camera. But if you put it in like that, like for ghost hunting, I think then you get the device.
Yeah, SLS, the Kinect SLS camera. That's what it's called.
That'll be on our wish list.
You could buy a getup for $400.
Oh, forget that. I mean, you could probably build it for cheaper.
You just make your own.
And the only thing I think that would be custom for that looks like anyway, is it looks like the pistol grip that they have it in.
Yeah.
That looks like it might be pretty good quality. But the rest of it, yeah, it's pretty straightforward. You could.
You get you can do. That's with no tablet. Tablet, it's $525. Oh my god, you can get up to $614 just for that thing.
Yeah, it's like, and you could make pretty much everything but the case, probably.
Yeah, so like if you look at, you do this, they're basically just selling you the Kinect SLS camera for what?
$600.
$400.
$400.
Just by itself, when you can get those for like $50 or something at GameStop. Yeah.
But because of what it is, and people like that, it's like, that's the thing. Like, there was a guy who had made almost like not a spirit box, but it was more like a radio of sorts. And what he was charging for these things was ridiculous. And it was one of those similar like word generator programs. So it's like you don't know really if you're getting something or if the computer's just programmed to just say stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, gonna pay that much for it? Just like, no. You get the camera for like $40.
Yeah, I don't know if GameStop still has them. I used to have one. When we were working at GameStop, we had like just rows of those things. Just
$40.
That's for the newer one, the Xbox One. They must not have the older, cheaper model.
Probably not.
But I think that one works too, right?
I don't know. I don't know if there's a certain thing to it or not. I'd be lying if I said otherwise.
This one's online. Oh, here we go.
$15.
$15. That's
man.
No AC adapter. This one's with the AC adapter.
Yeah, I checked that one.
Same price there. Starter kit. It's like you don't need that. So we're here, not available. So.
Sorry.
But you could find it probably anywhere else.
What? 360 or the Xbox One Kinect?
360.
Yeah, you can find them like on Facebook when people are selling their Xboxes for like $60 or whatever.
Yeah.
And because I know people take apart the 360s. Forget what part they take from it, and they use them to make those RAM pods, I think it is, where it pumps energy out.
Oh, REM pods?
Yeah, REM pods. Yeah, they use Xbox 360s for that.
Oh, okay.
Which I have an Xbox 360 lying around and a Kinect.
So do I have a 360. I don't know. So I don't know if that part, whatever is needed for it, works. So.
Yeah, I don't know what's used, what is needed either. But I have the 360. I have a Kinect, so we can definitely do that.
Yeah, we can. So you can get them on Amazon too. It's a Kinect sensor with Kinect Adventures for $28.49. You could throw the game away and keep the Kinect.
Yeah, I mean, I see people making stuff and selling it for like James was saying, like outrageous prices, like the Radio Shack box. Yeah, where people are just buying the Radio Shack radios and hacking them and then trying to sell them. I think like the radio itself was like $20 at the time, and you're trying to sell them for bucks or more.
Yeah, what's for them ghost on something, the price goes up 600 times.
But that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, people do that with the Amazon Fire Sticks.
Yep.
They do it with like game consoles. They'll mod them and hack them and then sell it to you
For like
more,
a crazy amount of money.
like
Yeah.
$200
Yeah,
more.
like a Fire Stick is like
Like-
what, $40, $25.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can buy them hacked for like almost 100, or you can just hack it yourself for free.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if somebody else can do it, you can do it. You can just look it up and do it yourself.
Yeah.
Instead of paying outrageous prices.
So I'll try to find my Kinect and my 360, and then we can try to figure out how to do the RAM pod.
Well, for the Kinect, we already looked it up. You just need to.
Yeah, that's easy. Just gotta hook it up.
You have a tablet or a computer that can run the program,
Yeah.
and the wire that connects it to it.
And then just a power supply and holding
Which
bracket.
it already has the power supply.
Okay.
You should already have it. And then holding bracket, I mean, you could probably just make one. It already has like a base that you could.
Yeah, I actually have the part that connected to the back of the TV, so the Kinect would be on the top of the TV. I have
Yeah.
all that, and they used to sell a tripod for it anyways, where it was locked in there pretty tight, and you could like jump around,
jump up, and get down.
and it wouldn't fall over.
That's cool then.
Yeah.
That would be a piece I'd be very intrigued to work with. That one or a FLIR camera, temp cams.
Mhm.
That would be, those are two pretty ones, but I'd say would be pretty good toys.
I definitely want to try the Kinect. That would be fun, and it'll be new.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
a flare cam would just be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Just to see everything like that, it would just be so cool.
Oh yeah.
Then maybe you see something, maybe you don't. Also, those the cameras there, the ones that take was it ultraviolet camera
Full
pictures? Yeah, full spectrum.
Yep.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, those would be cool. That'd be really cool. I've seen some interesting like pics come out of that. It kind of gives off a really odd effect, and they've had some like odd shadows kind of pop through. I've seen in a few people's pics using that.
That'd be fun. But those cameras are expensive.
Yeah, I've seen some people claiming you could mod them, like via YouTube and things like that. You could modify a camera to be a full spectrum camera, but that's out of my wheelhouse. It's not something I could do.
Yeah, I wouldn't even want to. I think you would destroy the camera.
Most likely, yeah. Because if you're wrong and you get one of those guys who's just completely trolling, it's like, yeah, cut out this part and then just do this. Gesundheit. So it's like, at that point it's like, oh yeah, just do that. And it's like, oh yeah, I just killed the camera, thanks.
Yeah, I think there's like one show I was watching that they have a camera that takes like 4 different pictures from one camera. Takes the regular shot, then a full spectrum shot, and there was like another shot. They showed all 4 pictures, and I was like, that's weird.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe, or it could have been like they had multiple cameras and took multiple, like, quick switch, because they thought they got something.
But it was all in one contained unit though, yeah.
I believe so. It's been years since I seen it. I already forgot what show it was on. He took a picture, and it was like they put up on the screen all 4 images, and it was like, this is what it looked like regular. You didn't see anything, and it was like full spectrum, and you kind of seen something laying on the couch. And I was like, wow, that's kind of badass. I totally kind of want that. But again, price is outrageous.
Yeah, that's the problem with tech. It's like unless you know somebody in the field who could figure out a way to build it for you, it's expensive because they corner the market on it.
Yeah, and also like, is it even worth it spending all that money on a camera that maybe you get one good shot?
I think it depends. It depends on how much you're really into it, and yeah, more or less, I guess, really how much you're into it. Really was what it boils down to. Because yeah, you're right. Looking at it from a logistical point of view, it makes no sense. But
Yeah.
super passionate about it, that might be the one camera that's going to get you that one picture that says, I've been waiting my whole life for this picture. There is, to use a quote from Ghostbusters, a full torso vaporous apparition. You know, it's like boom, and you caught it. So it's kind of a gamble.
Yeah, I guess I would probably put my money into a flare cam first.
Agreed. Yeah, you got to budget out appropriately. I wouldn't just go running to anything. I totally agree with that. But I think, yeah, it's a matter of like how hardcore you are into it. It's like how much equipment you're going to end up with in the end of it all.
Yeah. A lot of those shows, I don't even see them using those cameras anymore.
The flare ones?
No, not the flare. The
Full spectrum?
full spectrum cameras. Yeah, I don't see a lot of them use them anymore. I also don't watch a lot of those shows anymore either. So that could be why.
That could be probably a big reason. I don't catch much of them either, truth be told. There's like I've watched, I think it's the Ghost Adventures a few times, and yeah, I've seen them like maybe one out of like every 4 or so episodes. They'll see like 1 or 2 pictures from a full spectrum. Didn't you say there was actually a video camera that actually was cheaper? That was
Yeah, I sent it on the group chat.
Right. So that would be a thing, because I guarantee in that camera it would have the option for still images.
I never even read any of that, so you could be right.
Because I don't want some like for example with my picture camera, I've got video function, so I don't see why something of that nature wouldn't have it. I mean, there's a chance, of course, I'm wrong, but it would stand to reason that it could very well have the function of a full spectrum camera that way. That way you could film if you wanted to, or get a single still shot in an area, or even still, if you have like a decent editing software, you could actually go in and steal 1 frame of video. So even if you couldn't take an actual picture with a full spectrum video camera, you could still snap a shot from the editing process afterwards.
It does take still pictures up to 24 megapixels.
That's not bad.
I'm reading the stuff now.
Yeah, and I think that would be something that would be more worthwhile than just simply the one type of like just picture cam, because yeah, then you're limited, and it's like then you can't do much with it. But whereas this would help act as a additional night vision basically camera, you know. So
yeah, and that's obviously before I even purchased it. I'd read a lot about it because there's a lot of scams going on Amazon right now, anyways. Where I had something in my my checkout cart that I was gonna buy, and when I went logged in to purchase it, it was pulled out saying that this was all removed because the seller is fake.
oh shit, okay.
I was just gonna shell out this money for this item, but I didn't.
Yeah, right.
And that camera is now $221. It was $170.
Huh. Still not a bad price, I guess, though. Because hell, I know my Canon was probably almost twice that, and it's definitely not a full spectrum camera by no means.
Yeah.
It's about a $500 camera, and if I bought a new up-to-date Canon now, it'd probably be about the same price.
Yeah, but how long? You said yours doesn't have that function.
Yeah, my camera is not a full camera, full spectrum camera.
Yeah,
It's just a standard camera. So his camera, being full spectrum, you think it being a specialty item, it would be more. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, but how long ago was your camera bought? The one that you have? So you think like when technology, eventually it all goes down in price. Like
right.
You buy a TV for $1,000, and 3 years from now, a better TV is like $200.
Right.
So like it's possible that camera is not a scam, but it could just be made cheaply with plastic and stuff.
That's true. Well, like my DVD projector that I had. And
Yeah.
that lasted me about a year and a half, and they're like, yeah, it should last you at least 5 years, and it just burned out.
So what is like the full spectrum? I don't understand like how that all works.
Camera is?
Yeah.
It's actually literally just it's a camera that shoots in all ranges of light. So if you've got, say, for example, because that's one of the things that they keep looking for. One of the reasons they use like the night vision and stuff is because they're not sure what exactly spectrum of light that something might be visible in. And these kind of cameras literally do that. They cover every single spectrum of light that we can record. So it works out as an all-in-one. But like I say, it's usually just mainly used, I guess, in still images. I'm not sure what the video resolution is.
I'm looking. I did find that one that was 170. again. I like it. It comes with 2 batteries, which is always a plus. But like I said, I have to read the reviews because I don't want people to be like, "Oh, it's so great," and then you get it and it's fucking piece of shit, little
Yeah, right.
plastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's what they do. Like when it's cheap, it's made in China, and they use like cheap plastic parts. And even
I mean, I'm down for cheap if as long as it works.
yeah,
Like
that's works. Yeah.
our first trail cams that we first used when we first started the team were, I think they were like $30 or $20, and they lasted us a couple of years before they just randomly shit the bed. Like no idea why, they just stopped working. Around Christmas time, Walmart has like sales on a lot of stuff, so I bought a trail cam last year for $25. It's small. The only thing I don't like about it is you don't have the option. Like our other one, we had the option of it would take 3 pictures and then a 10-second video. On this one, you can only take pictures or video. You can't do both. That I don't like. I wish you could. That's why I came up with the idea, is because they sell those dashboard cams. They're like $20 too, and they're night vision and everything. I was like, wow, that'd be nice to use for point of view cameras, where people always like, oh, we never get your point of view, so people can see what we see with our own eyes is exactly what you're seeing on this thing. Granted, it might be a little dimmer, because I don't know how the camera quality is on them. I don't know shit, but I was just an idea where it's just another way maybe we can catch evidence that physically we won't even understand with our own eyes, like a shadow figure walking by or some shit.
Right.
I was also reading that one guy, I forget his name, but he makes stuff for like the ghost shows and shit like that. He doesn't believe in anything paranormal. He doesn't believe in ghosts or anything. So I'm like, why would you even be making anything?
Money.
True, but he could also be like, yeah, I'm making this, and this is what it does. And so we're taking his word for it. And then you take it out in the field and, like the ovulus there that says all this stuff. He could just be having it set to be saying demon and Satan. Like, we don't know what words are actually in there. He could say, oh, yeah, there's 1,000 words. And it's like 4. Satan, I'll kill you. And, the devil's here and shit like that. I think that he kind of makes it worse. Like this, like I wanted an ovulus. I thought about it. I was like, I really want this. But then after I was reading stuff about it, I was like, how do I know that it's legit evidence coming out of that? How is
Oh, yeah.
how I don't physically know.
Yeah, I think the only way you'd be able to know is to like literally have like a sit down with a programmer and someone who also was a fellow programmer to know if you weren't getting BS'd, and basically go through the lines of code to read the lines of code to see exactly what the program's made to do and how it actually functions.
Yeah.
Because I don't really understand, in myself anyway, how each word resonates a certain energy. Because that's basically what it would have to be. The word would have to be converted into energy that the device could pick up and figure out what it is with absolutely no form of microphone. It's just like a radio wave of sorts, I guess, and it would just pick it up and know that, hey, this word, regardless of the way it's emitted from any human being or spirit or anything on this earth, it is going to be resonated only at this frequency, so I say it.
Yeah. Like I said, I wanted it, and now I don't, because like that reason right there. But then people also say the same thing with the spirit box, where how can you say what is coming through that is the actual spirit, and not you picking up other radio frequencies.
That's always what I thought it was, though. It's just going through radio channels and it's picking out random words. Just put them together and you think it says something, maybe. I don't know.
But there are the ones that are just literally just chatter. I think they only go off, I think, 2 only when they register something. And it's like, I don't know, maybe if it's like a distinct answer that, correlates with, not like a vague answer where you're like, all right, is anyone here who wants to talk to me? I think it just said yes. Okay, what is it you want to say? Tomato. Something happened with a tomato. It's like, sometimes I think people reach a little too far. But if you're sitting there and you're having like this conversation and it's like for example, hey, so how are you doing? And also you hear it say, I am fine. And it's like, well, okay. Is there anything else you want to say? Tomorrow, or something like that. At least you got some kind of lead in or something that's like semi-coherently relevant to what you're talking about. But if it's just like completely random and you're reaching for each thing, then yeah, I could see that being a little bit of a guesswork too.
Yeah, that's why like when I don't mind the spirit box. One, I think it's loud and annoying at some points.
Mm.
You're in a small area. It's like, oh my gosh, shut that thing up.
Yeah.
And I always when we use it, I try to only use it for about 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So it helps when I'm going over EVPs. Doesn't drive me insane where I'm listening to that for like an hour.
Yeah. Shut pop 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 pop.
Yeah, and then what I also try to do is me personally when I'm on a case when I'm using it, I like to ask a question, and I wait about 5 seconds. If I don't get a response, then anything after that to me, I'm not even going to say is a response to my question. It's just random.
Right.
But because it goes over radio frequency so fast, if we get something like a couple of words in a row of what responding to my question, then I'll take that as all right. That's a response because like again, it is going through radio frequencies fast, so it has to for it to just say a couple of words. You can't be like, oh, it's because of something on that radio frequency. If you're constantly changing it really fast, you can't blame, a walkie-talkie or whatever the hell.
Right. Some kind of other audio contamination. Yeah.
But that's what I do. Like I said, I do 20 minutes and then it's like 5 seconds, depending. Sometimes, like if we're in a little basement area and it's kind of tight, maybe I'll go to like 8 seconds. But I don't do like how you were saying where you ask a question and then like a response is like a tomato and you're like, oh no, did this person die of a tomato? Like I don't reach to make something paranormal.
Right. Right.
Keep it as legit as possible. We've had cases where we ask a question, we get like a dude that is with us at the time, like nickname, what everybody else calls him, and it's like, and he reacts, and we're like, oh shit, like this is legit. And then we get names, and everybody else in the room is like, yeah, this is all real right now. And then there'll be, out of that, you'll be getting some good stuff, but then you'll get something that makes no sense at all. And then we're like, okay, that's just random. That
Right.
all this other stuff that we're getting like good responses for to our questions, awesome. And then it'll be like, car. We're like, okay, why? Where does this even come from? And then that's gone. We're like, we don't even ask anything. We're like, oh, what about the car? Did you die in a car? We don't like, no. It doesn't make sense to anything we're talking about right now.
Yeah. So it's definitely got to have a bit of a filter to it, but it's still definitely an interesting little setup once it gets going.
Yeah, when we got it, I was happy because we were trying to make the radio box there, the hacked one,
Uh-huh.
Radio Shack. We couldn't find I guess they stopped selling that, and me and Clint are not technically gonna be able to do something like that. Like I'm pretty sure Matt can do it. I'm pretty sure you could do it.
If it's plug and play in software, yes, I can do it. If it's modifying a board, I can't do that. That's not my field.
All right, so maybe Matt. I forgot how it was done. There was somebody on the Raven Paranormal Facebook page. We're in a group, paranormal stuff for sale,
Yeah.
and a guy was like, "Oh, I have a spirit box for sale," and he called us, and we're like, "Hey, what's up?" And he was like, "Yeah, I got a spirit box for sale for $30," and I was like, "Okay, we'll go out there and go get it." And then he was telling me how his stories with it and how it's a great tool to use. I was like, all right, he was trying to tell me how he uses it, how like he uses it for like a whole time, and I'm not gonna tell him how he should be doing it, but he was like, I have a lot more stuff, I'm just getting out of the field right now. If there's anything else you want or need, or when I can find it, I'll let you know. I'm moving from New York, so a lot of my stuff's packed up, and I was like, all right, cool. So he never got back to me, but I did give him my number. He just never got back to me. Yeah, so we got it, we used it, and we used it in tunnels in New Bedford. It's like was like our little train. Anytime we got like a new thing to play with, that's where we went. So we used it there, and that's when like I was coming up with like certain rules, like all right, 20 minutes. Let's do 20 minutes, half hour max, because we were like an hour and a half, and it's annoying that thing. It just drives you insane. You're just sitting there with your headphones on. You're like, all right, and you had the and you're like, okay, what? Why? And I was doing the 5 second rule. And I was like, it's like a big thing. We use it. I just got another one for Christmas, so now I have 2 spare boxes.
That's cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I still have like I think my core equipment, but that's really about it. I think, yeah, 'cause I started my digital recorder and all that, but nothing new has been added. With the exception, I do actually take that back. 2 years ago for Halloween, we did get the DVR set up, so we do actually have another set of cameras for that, provided I get an SD card for memory. But yeah, I haven't really had a chance to really upgrade to any new bells and whistles yet myself.
My thought is it doesn't matter you have the old gear or you have new stuff. If there's something there, you're gonna get it no matter what you have. Like you can go out and spend $4 million on like a brand new camera set, or you can go to BJ's and buy I think like a $300 security set. Evidence is evidence no matter what it's on.
True.
And like that teddy bear that was like 160, it was like some
Yeah,
sweet.
$160 a word. Yeah.
Yeah, we can go to like Walmart, buy a teddy bear, and Amazon has like a ghost thing for like $25 that you can just put in the bear and like connect the red lights because it has red lights when it goes off to the eyes of the bear and just put it somewhere and be like, here you go. Instead of spending 160, you just did it all yourself.
What's the benefit of making it a teddy bear?
Maybe it's like attractive to kids like toys or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they try. I think Ghost Hunters used it where it was like a little girl that was at the house, so they would put a teddy bear down, so it'd be like, oh, go play with the teddy bear.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that before. So
they
balls and for kids if there's a child spirit or
Right.
you know.
Yeah, you know, like the rolling balls that have the lights in them. Like when they stop, people they use that too. I'll put them down so if it starts rolling and the lights they see the light, they know something's there.
Right.
There was one episode they used that dog, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about that.
Like they just like put a dog randomly in a room and let it just see what happened, or
It was their dog, and they were walking with the dog, and like when the dog would like you know when a dog like when you walk into a house and a dog sees you, how it looks right at you kind of thing.
right.
And like some dogs when they look at you, they start to bark or growl. Well, it was like that. Like they would bring the dog into a room, and they'd always be behind the dog, and they'd be like, "What do you see?" or whatever. And like if the dog sensed something, they would follow the dog. If it's like fur stuck up or whatever. I only seen it for one episode, and I was kind of like I was iffy on it because with my dog Socks, I can be like, "What is it? What is it?" and he'll growl and bark and be all happy, and there's nothing there. It's just me playing with him.
Right. Right. And it's possible that it's a plant, but also there are times I've noticed that like even like simple things like nature stuff that animals pick up on it faster than we do. So that if there's something indeed going on, the chances of them finding it, could be good. But I think it'd have to be almost like a person. You'd have to almost have like a trained animal, just like a trained person would need to be trained in order to know what to kind of do. Because for all you know, too, with like the idea of contamination, it could be like, okay, dog's going for something, but then he ends up hearing like something that's actually outside.
That's like my dog is like that. So he'll hear anything, somebody getting in their car,
Yeah.
something I don't really hear, and he'll go crazy, and it's like, oh yeah, but like a dog can do that, and you'll know. But like if a dog's barking at like a corner of a house,
Like all the
in
time.
a room, just growling at it and looking back at you like, yo, you gonna do something about that? And you like, there's nothing there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's possibly something. But if he's just barking and like you hear something, like you can kind of tell the difference. Like my dog, I thought there was like a mouse or something under my couch because he like just popped up and like started trying to get behind the couch, and I'm like, what? He just goes behind there. There's nothing there. I have a mouse trap set up too, so I'm like, yeah, there's nothing there. I haven't seen any evidence of anything. I think maybe his tail's wagging under it, hit something, or I'm on the couch and it creaked. Maybe he's like, oh shit, what's that?
Yeah.
Some dogs just are sensitive, flip out to anything.
Yeah.
But you can tell the difference. Like if he's growling at a freaking corner and there's nothing there, it's like, all right, this is kind of weird. Or he's crying.
Yeah.
Or
avoids a room completely in the house.
I remember telling that story of when Dave said he didn't remember, but when Jasmine was crying and he woke me up and handed me like a weapon or something, and she was in the kitchen stuck because a barrel was now moved in the way after she already got in, and she was crying. I mean, I think she could have still got out, but she was like sitting there crying at the barrel, and it's like, well, you could probably get out, but yeah, it was weird. The barrel's in her way now.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess you can kind of tell if something is with a dog.
People think the same with cats too. It's one of the many mysteries of cats. A lot of people used to theorize that they were half in, half out. That's why it is that they of life basically. and that's kind of why they have sort of a sixth sense about them.
I don't think I'd ever take my dog on a case.
I wouldn't.
Now, I think if anything, if you're going to do that, you'd have someone else show up with their animal, and then, but like when you're done with it, say, okay, thank you very much, you can go now. So you'd at least have the use of the animal, but the animal's not there all night long.
Yeah. I mean, if the person's house, like if they had animals, I'd be like, well, I'd use their animal then if I was going to use any
Right.
animal because
Right.
they're around it.
Right. And usually if they do, it would be good anyway to use them because most likely the owner will tell you that there's been some interaction with the animal. You know?
Yeah.
Like my bird freaks out at 2:00 every morning. My cat won't go in this room. My dog's afraid of the attic door or something, you know?
Yeah. That was one. Like I said, I think they only used it once, and I think they had a recorder on the dog. I could be wrong. I don't remember the episode. I just remember them bringing their dog, and I was like, at the time, I was like, I don't know how I feel about it. Would I bring my dog? And I was like, you'd have to train it, but I was like, how do you train it on something that you physically can't see? You have to guess and assume it's there. How do you use that? How is that possible?
Yeah, it's not more of training it towards something like that. It's training it not to freak out or do anything to just normal noises. So if like it hears a car door shut or someone talking outside, it needs to be trained that that's nothing.
Right.
But if it's something you can't train it on, it most likely will freak out to it. Especially if it's something like it's not even like they see, it's more of a sense, like a feeling, like that is from what I can gather is they sense it there. It's not like they hear anything.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how do you train a dog that, hey, that's real, this is not. That sound you just heard now is real. This sound you're hearing that I'm not is real.
You could train a dog that when it hears noises or people or stuff, you could train it like, hey, that's nothing. And I know some people train their dogs like instead of barking at the door, when it hears someone knocks, it runs to its bed and just sits there waiting for a treat. Because that's how you train it. You're like, all right, you sit here while someone's knocking, and I give you a treat, and you shut up. Whereas my dog doesn't know that. Knows everything else but that, which is a good thing. But yeah, you'd have to train the dog like not to freak, like normal things, which is obviously hard, but it can be done. They can pretty much be trained to do anything.
I mean, how come you don't see that a lot where other people use their animals?
I think because it can't be like verified really, like that you can't evidence of a dog barking at something in the corner. You can't say it's got to be paranormal.
There's not like a mouse or something.
Your dog, yeah, there could be something in the wall. Your dog could just be dumb. Like some dogs are just kind of oafs and bark at anything. So you can't guarantee anything with it. Same thing like my dog. It's with anything training. I'm like Olivia can just grab things out of his mouth and he won't care. But I still tell him not to because there's going to be that one time where he does care. You can't train a dog. I don't know. You can't like trust it like 100%.
Because it's an animal.
Because it's an animal. Yeah, it's not. It can't tell you like, hey, yeah, there's a ghost over here. It's just barking. It's like or freaking out or crying. It could be anything.
Yeah. But that was just something when I watched it. I was like, would I do that? Could I do that? Probably not. Like I said, I think it had a camera or a recorder in it. Vest. I think it had like a little vesting that you could put stuff on in it. I think it had that. Could be wrong, and I think it may have had lights. Again, I could be wrong. So like an EMF detector thing on it. So if something touched it. But like I said, I could be wrong. But I think there was one show too of Ghost Adventures where Zach had a shirt or a jacket that was like, if something touched him, the EMF detector, it was all like lit up. So if something touched him, it would like light up in certain areas where he was being touched.
That's kind of a cool idea.
Yeah, basically it was like EMF built into his jacket. I believe it was him.
But you can't, again, like you could walk through somewhere where there's a current, or they could set it off, but
But still, that could also be checked though too. I mean, like
yeah,
because usually that's where people like they're in a basement, like, oh, I go in my basement, I get really bad headaches. It's like, well, look at the wiring box you got next to your head. That's why you got a headache.
Yeah.
And it could be something like that. Like once you find it, you could trace it back. It's like, am I near a power box? Like if there's nothing around you that's electrical and you're having that, it's like then that could be something else.
I also think like a lot of people are just creeped out in general with the basement. Like I think it's all mental. I don't think.
Yeah, a lot of it is.
I don't like. We just did a case where the lady was like terrified of her basement. Every time they went down, like her ex-boyfriend or something was chased out of the basement. By what? He doesn't know. He just felt something like pull his shirt and he was gone. And he heard it like chase him up the stairs. But there was nobody there. And like we went in the basement with our EMF detector was checking. It was like all like the main electricity in the house was in that area. Like right at the bottom of the stairs. But she feels weirded out like when she's near her washer and dryer and in like other certain areas. So we went over there, test to see how high the EMF was. It wasn't high. So I just think it's more, it's just it's the basement. You just feel weird about it in general, especially if you're gonna go down there late at night. You're like, oh, go down there, you hear your boiler turning on, and you're like, oh shit, and it's just your boiler cleaning up your house.
Yeah, I mean, as you get used to it, your heart still drops for a second. You're like, okay, it's just my heat, or your pipes moving, or yeah, if, like when the house gets older and say pipes didn't bang at first, but now they start banging, you don't know what the fuck that is.
Right.
I know what pipes bang when. Like if you have the shower running or the bath, when the water goes down my drain, that one knocks, and Nancy's still not using. What the fuck is that? I'm like, you don't hear that every time you take like a shower or something? Like, it's just the drain pipe slamming, and then the radiators go. But some people aren't used to that, or if it just starts up, you've had the house for years, and then now those pipes are starting to get loose.
Yeah.
People think like, oh, I hear it all the time. I remember that ghost. It was a Ghost Hunters episode when they're in like a submarine or a boat, and like, oh, we keep hearing banging from these pipes, and that heater right there doesn't work. And they're plumbers, so they had the thing, and they're like, that heater's on right now. It works. Like it's giving off heat and everything. Like that works. It's just the pipes banging from the heat. And the lady's like, oh yeah, that's never worked. That doesn't work. It's not even hooked up. And it's like, it is, but I think that's the same one where someone snuck into the room, paused the camera, went behind the bed and pulled the sheets, and then started the camera, whatever.
There was one I remember they did something like that where they actually got called to a case, and it actually ended up being that like they said, it was like the lights flicker in this room, and like a face can be seen in this mirror, and stuff like that.
The chandelier thing swing.
Yep.
I hope we're talking about the same episode I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
Where they basically found out that everything was rigged to.
Yes.
It was like a fun house almost.
Yeah, there was like a face actually wired into the mirror.
It was so cheap.
It's pretty funny that we got here to this investigation, and pretty much everything you said where it was when all these rigged items were. And they're like,
you lift up the drop ceiling, you see all the rigs for the light thing, the fixture that moves or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, wasn't it like when they opened the bathroom door, they would hear a girl scream? So every time they opened the door, there was like a girl screaming, and like at the top of the door was like a little button.
Yeah, pretty much.
Stupid. Yeah. It's like, come on.
And I can't believe they ended up making a show out of that. Like they aired that.
Yeah.
It might have been one of those like the half episodes where they did 2 investigations in one day.
Yeah, it might have been also a fuck you to that business.
Like, yeah.
Oh, fuck you.
It was.
I think they tried saying like, oh no, like they're like that. Oh yeah, that stuff's there. We weren't denying that, but there's other things happening.
I think so.
And then it's like, no, you're not.
How do you have your entire bar rigged up?
Yeah.
And it'd be like, oh, there's other stuff happening.
You have these people come in who are thorough.
Yeah, right.
Like, I don't know, find it. You just lift up a drop ceiling, or you look at the mirror and you can tell it's fake.
Yeah.
Like, this is stupid. Yeah, it's just a fun house.
I've been thinking about that episode for a while.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
That one sticks in your memory because it's like,
yeah,
really?
Out of all of them, that is probably the only one I remember the most.
Yeah.
Sadly, because how like stupid these people were. And I enjoy taps.
I did in the beginning until like later on, and I'm like, some of these things don't seem real. And looking at videos of people debunking their shit.
Yeah.
But
yeah, but even if you posted something real, somebody's gonna try to debunk it.
Yeah. Of course.
See, the other thing I think that bothers me the most about any of the shows, like, because there's sometimes a train wreck, and I watch them anyway. But it's the fact that they catch so much evidence on those shows.
Yeah.
That's what really floors me sometimes. It's like I mean, because I know it's like, well, obviously they wouldn't, if they didn't get anything in an episode, they wouldn't air it. But how can you guarantee, and how many cases do you have to go on to get that? Because I've been on numerous cases and gotten so little evidence in places. And they come out, it's like we've got pictures and at least video, or we've got audio and at least personal experiences. Everywhere they go, they always have something. They never walk out of a place like, nah, man, you ain't got nothing. And then 2 weeks of, nah, man, you ain't got nothing. It's like they've always found enough to kind of keep going. So it's always put forth the idea of hopefully it's not, but possibly faked.
Yeah. You have Amazon Prime?
Not as of right now, no.
All right. I don't know if Matt does or he can let you borrow it or whatever. So on Amazon, there's this rapper I listen to. His name's Prozac. He actually does ghost hunting too. He's got 8 or 9 episodes on Amazon Prime. They're called Haunted in Saginaw. He's got amazing, amazing stuff. But he tells you like he's legit. His last one he just did. He was investigating this place for 6 months.
Huh.
So like when he's talking about his evidence, it's not he's in there for a day. So like those shows, they could be in there for a long time. We just don't know that because they're breaking it down into like an hour, half hour, depending that whatever that time frame is.
Right.
This concludes the show. We here at the Raven's Roost would like to thank you for joining. If you have any questions or a story you'd like to share, please reach out to us. Our email is ravenparanormal13@hotmail.com. Thank you. Stay tuned.